Hello kids, today is Tuesday, September 15th. Today in class, we started out for 6th grade. We actually started out with compound and complex sentences where I went through that big fat packet you got if you came and picked up your things. Otherwise, I will post this on the classroom, 6th grade classroom today, this document, so you can print it out at home. But if you are not here, it is available downstairs on the table. And so I went through that, and then we got started doing some more pre-writing for writing a narrative, a personal narrative. So that being said, let's start with this. We don't need the first 2 pages. We talked about that there are different kinds of sentences, and the first kind, the easiest kind you wrote when you were little, was a simple sentence like, I like tacos, would be a simple sentence. You can make that a compound sentence by saying, I like tacos. I'm sorry. You can make it compound by taking 2 sentences, I like tacos, I like pizza, and you can combine them with a comma conjunction. I like tacos, comma, and I like pizza. So we highlighted compound sentences in our packet, and they use coordinating conjunctions. That's fancy English teacher talk. But then we did highlight what those conjunctions are. But, and, or, nor, so, for, and yet. And it just says they're for use when both sentences hold equal value. It's equally important that I like tacos compared to the fact I like pizza. So all you need are 2 simple sentences, and you hook them together using a comma conjunction. And then I gave the example about my dog. My German Shepherd chases the lawnmower. That is a simple sentence. She jumps in the pool to cool off. That is another simple sentence. I can make it compound by hooking them together with a comma conjunction. We highlighted that in our packet because that's how we hook 2 simple sentences together to make them compound. Then I gave examples. My German Shepherd chases the lawnmower, comma, and she jumps in the pool to cool off. I used and. And the second one, my German Shepherd chases the lawnmower, so she jumps in the pool to cool off. This one's kind of showing that she needed to cool off because she was too hot. So I used so. And then I have 2 more examples there using but and or. Notice that both sentences are connected with a comma every time and that conjunction. Next, I'm sorry, we did highlight all those comma and conjunction words in our packet because we're going to use this as notes in the future. Next, we talked about complex sentences. These are a little bit more difficult because you have 2 sentences that are combined, but the purpose is to show how one thing causes another or how it affects another thing, or it's trying to show a relationship in time. For instance, so we highlighted complex sentences at the top, and then we highlighted it's showing a cause-effect relationship, and we highlighted or to show a change in time or place in our text. And then I went down and highlighted cause and effect, and then just put a box around. These are all the words that I can use in a complex sentence. Sorry, there's a few more down there. I just put a box around all of these because they are words that we use to show cause and effect. For example, because I like pizza, comma, I eat it 3 times a week. I could change that and do the inverse and say, I eat pizza 3 times a week because I love it. So I can put because at the beginning of my sentence, or I could put it at the end. I could also use unless. Unless you do the dishes, comma, You will not get to play any games. I could change that to say you will not get to play any games unless you do the dishes. All right, oops. So if I want to talk about time, I could use these words. After you do the dishes, comma, then you need to sweep the floor. You need to sweep the floor after you do the dishes. So I use some examples with my German Shepherd sentences. We highlighted subordinating conjunction because that's what we use to hook two simple sentences together to make it complex. Those subordinating conjunctions are all those words: because, after, since. They're just special words that help connect sentences. So for example, I have, because my German Shepherd chases the lawnmower, comma, she jumps in the pool to cool off. Notice I have to use a comma if the sentence starts with the subordinating conjunction. If I move it to the middle, I don't use a comma. She jumps in the pool to cool off because my German Shepherd chases the lawnmower. And that is mostly all we did today. I'm running out of minutes, so I'm going to zip through. That's pretty much it for that packet. And then you also had, in fact, I think I'm going to hustle a lot more than I thought. All good. If you have not read in, you have another packet that starts like this. It says Word Bank on the front. We're not really doing that page. Out of minutes. Go to the page that says Rubric. It is a scoring tool, and it shows you what you need to have to get a perfect score on your personal narrative. And it shows that you can get a score of 4 for organization, you could get a 4 for development of plot, and get a 4 for use of language and conventions. I want you to read that top row of boxes. That's part of your assignment. The next page talks about my goals as a writer, and the paper lists out some goals for you that everyone should have. That's our purpose in doing this unit. And then there are places at the bottom for you to come up with 3 goals of your own. I expect you to write down 3 things you want to make sure you accomplish as you are writing this paper, something you want to do better this time. And I'll just tell you what your last assignment is. The last assignment is this ABC Darien list, and it's just a brainstorming list. It's page 1.4 on the document, and I think I can in fact get rid of this and flip over to you or this one. Flip over to this. Okay, so your writing prompt, your goal in writing your personal narrative is to think about a situation where a mistake turned out to lead to something good happening. Now you are going to write a personal narrative that tells about that situation and include descriptions and events that logically follow one another. You need to make sure you use first person. Here are your first person pronouns. Oops, I should go down. I, me, we, us. And if I want them to be possessive, it's mine, my book, it's ours, our book. These are the kinds of pronouns that you'll be using in your essay. You might talk about him over there, but you are speaking as yourself. Provide a beginning, a middle, and an end, so make sure that it's organized in chronological order. And make sure that you described what the mistake was and explain how it led to something good later. Make sure you include dialogue, so you should have people talking in this essay. Now you're thinking, what am I going to write about? That's where this homework assignment comes in. It says, create a list of mistakes that turned into successes. Use the alphabet as a guide. That reminds me. Classroom. And this is actually where you Really? Now my access is denied. Probably have to re-log in. That link worked yesterday. Uh-oh. I better check the link. Anyway, I'm going to try to put a link up here to make sure you can get to this hard copy. So, the ABC Darien list. Use the alphabet as a guide. For each letter, write down a mistake that begins with that letter. Next to the mistake, write a word that describes the success. The word describing the success does not have to begin with the same letter as the mistake. Fill in as many letters as you can. Circle the 3 ideas that you might want to write about. I told the kids today that they need to have 10, wherever that number is. Need to have 10 in here. I, of course, used F to tell my French fry story that I told yesterday. I also remembered some bad things happening when I put a cat in the closet or in the cupboard, and I got in trouble for breaking some stuff in the barn. So I put down some ideas as I was remembering some past personal experiences that started out as mistakes, but they've led to, you know, good things happen because of them. I learned lessons. Toward the back of your packet, you have a paper that says elements of a personal narrative. We've already kind of talked about them. You need to make sure that it tells a story. It needs to be written in order that it happened. You need vivid details. Think about your senses. As you're telling the story, what do you smell? What do you hear? What did you see? What did you feel? Tell your thoughts and feelings. Don't just tell what happened, but stop and tell what you were thinking during that. And did I cover it all in less than 15 minutes? Elements, personal pronouns. I'm counting it. That's pretty much what we got done today. Please come to our meet with any questions you have. See ya.